Hello, today on Cedar Focus, we're speaking to Róisín from Right4U service. We hope you enjoy the episode.
Hi, Róisín. Thanks for joining us today on Cedar Focus.
Thank you.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here. So you've worked for Cedar for 4 years, is that right?
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
About 4 years, yeah. And have you always worked in this role, or did you work?
I used to work in education, so I used to work as a classroom assistant with teenagers, so the secondary level. Yep. And then I applied for Cedar then before leaving. But yes, that's what I went into then.
Yeah. And what made you decide to apply for Cedar then?
I was always aware of Cedar and the work that they did in our local community, because they worked closely with my family. My sister actually was involved in the Right4U programme before I even started with the previous person that worked for Right4U. So I always knew of the good work that they did. And then I saw the job advertised and I thought, oh, that would be nice. But I left it and regretted it. And then I saw it advertised again and I took the leap and applied, which is about 2019-ish, about not roughly that year. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great, Róisín. Yeah, you would find that sometimes, you know, like the kind of connections that people have before with the organisation, and then it leads them to work for Cedar, you know. And the service that you're in is Right4U.
Yeah, that's right.
So can you tell us a little bit about Right4U then?
Right4U works very closely with young people with autism, or ASD for short. And they really work along the social and communication aspect. So it's about maybe looking for community opportunities, maybe day opportunities, teaching people maybe how to improve their social skills and communication skills. The really good thing about Right4U though is that people choose their own goals. So although that's an overarching view of what Right4U do, the young people really are able to choose what they'd like to do. So whether that be more independence at home or being able to go out for day opportunities, it's a very different job because every person wants to do different things. So it's actually kind of hard to describe what Right4U do because so much of my job is dependent on what the young people want to do.
Yeah, right. So
but that is the overarching overall of what Right4U do is all social and communication.
Oh, right. Okay. So there is such a huge focus on social connection. So there would be a lot of activities going on at any given time then, would there?
Yeah.
Bringing people together. And so the people that are, you know, in the activities, they come up with ideas that kind of lead your program. So what kind of activities sort of would be sort of common in terms of like maybe cafes or bringing people out to things like that?
Yeah, exactly. So I work with some people on a one-to-one basis. So they might choose that they want to go maybe leave the house more often. So we would maybe put it in a plan of starting somewhere quite quiet. So we might go into the local library and do that. And then we might branch out, maybe try a local shop, maybe try a local cafe. I also do a lot of group work. So the groups come together and we do things like play board games. We might get outside speakers in to talk about things like budgeting and that kind of thing. And then we do trips to the local cinema, cafes, bowling, that kind of thing as well. So it's a very varied job. The people in the groups also decide. So we run like a social group once a month and they decide where they'd like to go. So sometimes we go bowling. If there's a particular film that they're all really keen to see, we'll do the cinema. So there is an awful lot of choice there for the young adults that we work with, which is super.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's really, really good. So it must be lovely just seeing people achieve those goals in terms of like building their confidence, you know, and their independence really, you know, going out like that. And sort of whenever people sort of are coming through the program, then do you signpost them on to maybe follow up with other goals, like maybe you know, employment or training or volunteering, different things like that? Do you sort of signpost to other departments? Okay.
Yeah, we definitely can. The program is time limited, so whenever they're coming towards the end of the time, we do have a discussion of maybe what they would like to do post Right4U, and some might decide that they want to go into employment or maybe a volunteer role, or maybe even just to join a local group outside of Cedar that maybe that's in the library or something like that, and we'll help facilitate that. So I might go to the first group with them just to sort of ease them in, and make them feel a little less anxious joining a brand new group for the first time. If they want to go into something like employment, we would maybe contact Inclusion Works for a skill set, volunteer, and we have a wonderful volunteer program in Cedar that they can access as well, and then also the user forum they can go into too. So there is lots of different opportunities after Right4U that we can definitely support with them joining.
That's great. That's great. And in terms of like the frequency of the activities, how does that work? Is that dependent also on the service user, or
one-to-one? We generally go with once a fortnight that we would meet face to face or virtually if we're in COVID times and that kind of sort of stuff. Peer groups meet twice a month as well, and then the social groups once a month. So that's the way it works. And then people that are one-to-one can also access the peer group as well, towards the end of that, their time span on the one-to-one. So there is always there can be consistent support from Cedar with Right4U, because you can go from your one-to-one then into your peer group and then into your social group, which is quite nice because you're kind of building your connections for a longer period of time then, and meeting different people and developing connections through a wider range of activities then, which is good too.
That's great. And is there scope sort of for a seasonal kind of change in activities? Like, do you do any like walking, anything like that, or? Yeah,
we do. There is a peer group that runs, and I deliberately call it something like walk and talk, depending on the season. So at this time of year, we maybe go for a walk, a chat, maybe go for a cuppa somewhere afterwards. That will quickly become just a cuppa if it's absolutely lashing down. We can't depend on the weather down here. I'm in Fermanagh, Tyrone, and the weather is can be not great. So we do that. So there is a walk and talk connection group there as well that we run once a month too. Which is great. We also have summer activities. I actually forgot to mention that at the start, sorry, but there's a 3-week block of summer activities too, throughout July, August, but that everybody can access, and that is things like maybe trips further afield. And we went to the Ulster Museum in Belfast last year, and we went to the Share Centre, and it's in Lisnaskea in Fermanagh, and we did an escape room, and cinema, bowling, and we went to I've forgotten the name of that museum. Our museum, I think it's called. Yeah. So and it was really good as well. There's also opportunities then. There is another Right4U service that runs up in Foyle with my colleague Gina, and we bring the service users together sometimes so they again can meet different people and make connections with different people. So we all met the time in the Tower Museum, and we would run groups online frequently too, where they can meet people from the Foyle group too. So that works quite well as well. And
that's brilliant.
A nice bit of collaborative working.
Oh, definitely, yeah, continual growth. And what would you think is sort of like the best part about your role? Is it maybe just seeing the young people
that is
grow?
A really good question. The best thing about my role is that, well, there's a number of best things about my role, so it's not really the best. It was the number of good things about my role. Firstly, is that it's so varied. It's definitely not the same any day, because as I say, the action plans and the goals that people want to achieve are very different all of the time. So every day is different, which is for me a positive. I like things to be varied and not have the same day all the time. The other best thing about my role is that there is so much choice given to the people that I work with. I would hate it if I went to somebody and said, right, you're going to work on this, this and this. That wouldn't be what Cedar's ethos is at all. So it's really good that Cedar's ethos is, that the person that you're working with gets to collaborate with you, and they have the choice on what they want to do. So that's the other best. And I think the other best is it's wonderful to see people maybe go from potentially never leaving the house and maybe not talking to very many people outside their family, to growing in confidence and growing in independence, and maybe going into a local cafe or something, even if it is only just once a week. It's a huge boost in their confidence and their self-esteem, and that's lovely as well.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
That's a number of best things. Sorry, I can't pick one.
No, that's good to hear. That's brilliant. That's great. And if somebody was interested in working with young people, like, would you recommend this kind of role? in terms of this sort of
Absolutely.
support. Yeah.
Cedar are a wonderful organisation to work for. Their overall ethos of opportunity inclusion is something that I wholeheartedly believe in. So I'm very happy to work for the organisation because I really do believe in their ethos.
That's nice.
Anybody that did want to work for Cedar, it's a really wonderful job. The rewards that you get from watching people grow and develop is really heartwarming, and it is lovely. And you learn so much because you can read as many books and do as many courses as you want on autism and understanding it, but you will never learn more than collaborating with and talking to the people that I'm currently working with. Like, I have just learned so much in 4 years. It's astonishing. So that actually might be one of my other best things that I probably should have added, is that you do learn so much in the role, simply just from collaborating with the people that you're working with.
That's fantastic. That's great, Róisín. Thanks. Thanks for taking the time to speak to us. I know you're probably super busy at the minute, but it's lovely to get that insight into Right4U, you know, and what it means and the impact it has, really. You know, you fully described that there, and it's brilliant. But yes, I'll put all of the information in terms of, you know, referral information and things like that in the show notes, and how to get in contact with yourselves. But yeah, really appreciate that. And you know, you might chat to you again in the future, you know, and catch up with you maybe over the summer, as you say, although you'll be very busy going on these outings and hopefully the sun will be shining. I don't know if that's wishful thinking, but
fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. Leave it on a high note. It's going to happen. Thanks, Róisín.
We hope you enjoyed listening. If you would like further information on this or other Cedar services, please visit www.cedar-foundation.org. We can also be found on Facebook, X, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We hope you join us next time for another episode of Cedar Focus.